Folks, welcome to race number 3 of Race to Zero Hour as we head to the Mexican Formula 1 track in the Formula 1 game 2021 for the race itself. I'm Sarthak here at RoadRunnerRacingCo Esports, and alongside me is Gouts. Gouts, ahead of the race, what's the rundown? What are you looking forward for the most in this race?
Hey Sarthak, good to be back again. Yes, Mexico City, a very interesting track. I think very mixed opinions among the drivers. I think a lot of drivers like it, and then there's some who don't. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the second and third sectors of Mexico, but then again, the first sector is only a long straight, along with another chicane and another long straight. So it is an interesting track, a very good track to drive on as well. It's going to be very interesting to see a lot of overtakes in the first sector because the DRS zones, 2 DRS zones in the first sector, in fact. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward for the race. We've seen some impressive overtaking on the main straight, like you mentioned, in the Bwoah Racing League, which we also host. And yeah, I'm looking forward to see how these 15 drivers out on track. We were expecting 16, but it's 15. We'll take it. 15 drivers who are inquisitive to go wheel to wheel out on track here today. And yep, we got the likes of a bunch of rookies who we've seen compete this time around in Race to Zero, the last couple of races, Fanatical, Deathwish, Assassin X, and we've got, of course, the BRL boys, the likes of Vex, UT, Envy, Dub. So we've got quite the competent drivers out on track, and we've got the return of RB Ferrello as well. We got to see him do probably not last to first, but a midfield to the top row. In fact, he does end up finishing P2 after Streeter's penalties have been removed from race 2, and he picks up the race win from last race.
Yeah, last race was obviously very exciting. We saw battles till the end. And I'm hoping that we see a similar race today. And as you can already see, the teams have been shuffled once again. And RB Ferrello is driving for his favorite team in real life, Red Bull. So I bet he'll be glad to be in that car.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's going to be a fun battle in the front.
Yeah, I'm looking forward for it, and I hope the viewers will come by. Make sure you drop in the chat who you here for, which driver do you think will be on top of the timesheets at the end of qualifying. Just 16.5 minutes left, of course, as we are on board. RB Ferrello on his out lap. He's passed by his teammate for the day, Andre.
Yep, surprisingly, Andre's favorite team is also Red Bull as well. So both of them have clearly been adequately put in the teams that they love. It's going to be great. Oh, and Andre has a bit of a spin on his outlap, but that's okay. Heats the tires a lot faster. Wink, wink. Yeah.
Yeah, like you mentioned it, like as if you have first-hand experience.
Well, luckily for me, I haven't really spun out on an outlap yet. Or have I? Can't really remember, but if I have, then it probably did wonders for my tires, so...
One to forget, perhaps. Okay. Avid's out on track as well with like Hyrox 24. So pretty much this is the earliest I've seen all drivers come out on track. So quite the busy track right now.
Definitely, and I think Avi is going to be really quick on this track because...
We've got a spin at the end in Sector 3. It's Hyrox 24 in the Haas.
Ah, yes. That is unfortunate, and that's right at the start of his hot lap. So he's going to have a very slow start to his hot lap. That's never ideal because that's where you can gain the most amount of time, to be honest. But let's see how it goes. And going back to what I was saying about Avi, I feel Avi will be quite quick here today because looking back at season 4 of BRL, Avi was on the podium and he qualified P3 amidst the likes of General Pepe and KDB himself.
There are some big names out there during that time in Sector 2 and 3. Light up yellow. It's purple Sector 1 for Mr. Hyrox 24.
I'm not surprised. We've already seen what he can do. He was on the podium last race as well. And definitely expecting big things from him today as well. Oh, Andre spins out and has invalidated his lap in Sector 2, if I'm not wrong. At the end of Sector 2, yep. He has spun out and invalidated his hot lap. So he'll have to do another hot lap. Mr. Vex is on his out lap. Assassin next. Interesting prospect from the last 2 races that we've seen. Being very new to the game and a rookie to the season as well. very interested to see what he'll come up with, because he was quite impressive in the last race, finishing quite high up the order, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, he was running quite high up the order as well for the longest time in the top 10. And yeah, I asked him about it after the race, what really happened. And turns out he had a nasty spin at the exit of the final corner in China. So yeah, he'll be hoping to not replicate that here out on track. Envy sets the fastest lap time on a set of medium scouts.
Oh, surprise, surprise. Envy the fastest on a set of mediums. So it's, I mean, Envy, honestly, in the last two races, he has not performed as we'd expected him to perform, owing to unfortunate incidents on track. You know, he's been caught off at the wrong time in the wrong place. Not his fault, but it tends to happen. That's what racing's all about. Hopefully, we'll see a big comeback by him today.
Yeah, perhaps we just might. Right now, it's Mr. Wex on a fast lap in the Scarlet Red Ferrari. And of course, Dark Legacy is headed into the pits. UT is on his out lap. A bunch of drivers on fast laps, so we should be able to see a couple of times on our timesheets. What's your best lap time around this track, Guts, as far as you can remember?
Perhaps in time trials, I don't think I've done better than one. This is from last season. The last game, of course, not the present game, because I've not really driven Mexico in the game. I think around 113, 112, 13s and 14s are times to be looking at. No, but then again, in this game, the cars are a lot slower. So, and there's a bit of an incident there between Weber and Andre. I think Weber was slowing down on track, and Andre is on his outlap. Both of them were on their outlaps, luckily, so it hasn't ruined anyone's lap.
But all eyes on Mr. Wex as he exits the final corner and sets a lap time worthy enough for fourth fastest. Not close enough, though, to the top three. Hopefully, he can get better as time resumes in shock qualifying. A bunch of drivers still yet to set a lap time, and I'm looking forward for the race itself. Same section of the track where we will see action on starting from lap number 1 all the way to the final lap of the race. The main straight, the highlight of this track. I remember a significant moment in the Bwoah Racing League. I think it was season 4, if I remember it well, where Big Man Joe was able to make a 2-car pass going into turn 1.
Unfortunately, I do not remember that. That's my. Oh no! Wait, I think in the Mexican GP in season 4, if I remember correctly, Big Man Joe and I were actually battling each other throughout the race at the back, because we both had very unfortunate incidents at the start.
There was
and internet disconnections as well. Yeah, season 3. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and of course you may not remember it. You were out on track battling for position
with Big Man Joe in season 4, yes, but season 3 I was not on track. I had to retire mid-season because of issues.
Ooh, issues. Yes, of course.
Issues.
Let's stay off Vaibhav. He's on a fast lap. He's one of the rookie drivers here in Race 0R. And when we say rookie, they're new to the game overall. It's possible that they've probably started playing the game a few months ago, a few months ago even. He's one of the drivers who've signed up for Race 0 that way. It's a brilliant place for them to go wheel to wheel with the likes of some heavy hitters like Envy, who's leading the championship in Bwoah Racing League.
Absolutely. I mean, it's really great to see all of these new guys going up against the fastest of the fastest in the BRL. We've got Envy right on top, as you mentioned. We've got RB Ferrello, Streeter himself, who's a race winner in the BRL now, which I remember very distinctly because I was the one he beat to the race win.
Of course.
And we got Mr. Vex, of course, who's also no joke in the league. He's also a very challenging driver. So, yeah, great to see these guys go up against the heavy hitters of BRL.
Yeah, Streeter's win from Bwoah Racing League, that was his first race, and he ended up winning that. Talk about, like, I'm not going to say luck because he gave it his all out on track. He went wheel to wheel with everyone who came his way and rightfully earned that win. But right now out on track, he's not. He has set a lap time third fastest on the board, but still not good enough. Envy's lap time still yet to be beaten. Abhi, another significant new driver here in Race 0R, was second fastest until Dub came and threw his right hook. Good enough for second fastest out on track.
Again, not a surprise because Envy and Derp, two of our fastest controller racers in the BRL. So, not surprised to see the two of them up there. Oh, and UT has a small spin. But okay, he set a lap time though. I'm not sure if this is his in lap or he's setting another lap. Oh, and Andre sets a 1:59. Now that is a pretty good lap.
Yeah, and he's on the main straight, and there comes Abi Ferrello, his teammate for the day. So you can hope to see these two drivers do quite the job come the race. And you mentioned the controller drivers in the BRL, and anyone who we know for that matter. Eccentric actually almost signed up for this race. I was hoping to see a good battle between him and Envy. And seems like we have a new entrant regardless. Black Sheep seems to have entered the pits, so we might just see another new driver out on track.
It's going to be great to see. If I'm not wrong, Black Sheep is another incredibly fast driver.
Exactly.
Going to be really challenging for the other drivers because he's got extreme pace from what I've seen. And yeah, let's see how it goes. At the moment, of course, Andre has set a 1:59, followed by Envy, who's about a tenth and a half behind.
Quickly.
And we're going to be interesting to see. Oh, Streeter! There you go. Streeter with a 1:15.8.
Yeah, quickly beaten there. So these times are going to change as time passes. Of course, Envy's lap time was set on the mediums, if I remember correctly. And I think Streeter just helped out his buddy for the day, Hyrox 24. And that should have given him a bit of slipstream.
Absolutely. I mean, that is a pretty good tactic to use on the main straight because the slipstream on the main straight is very powerful here. And you could gain a couple of tenths from it. So in quali, of course, very important. In race, obviously, when you got DRS from behind, with the aid of slipstream, you get that extra toe from the car in front. So that is definitely going to increase your chances of getting the overtake done before turn 1.
And let's stay on board Hyrox 24. He's possibly on a stellar lap. Should put him in the top 5, but too early to say as he goes through sector 2 and enters sector 3. A bunch of other lap times coming on to the board. Fanatical setting a 1 minute 24.141, 10th fastest currently out on track. I'm looking forward for that lap time being set by Black Sheep. He's on the mediums, making it difficult for himself perhaps. Dinara 1 up joins in. Another driver who has signed up and is pretty fast. And as I said, Hyrox 24 goes 5th fastest.
Dark Legacy spins and DNFs in sector 3. Sorry to cut you off there, Sarthak, but I think he was, he was on his hot lap. He hasn't set a time yet, and he just spun out at the end. Unfortunate spin that ends it, and Envy takes P1 once again. And this time he set his lap time on the softs though, so understandable that he's a second faster.
Yeah, we see Dark Legacy. We just saw Dark Legacy on our screens without a front wing and without the front right being attached to the car itself. So yeah, he's out of the qualifying session, having not set a lap time. So he is starting P16.
Unfortunate for him that he has to start the race without having to do quali. But then again, Sarthak, as I've said many times before, sometimes maybe starting from the back is the best thing you can do.
Yeah,
it could work out in your favor.
And another significant thing I was just going to mention, Derp retires, but it was about Derp. Derp just mentioned on the live stream chat that this was his first lap on this track since F1 2015.
That is not a surprise. I'd assume a lot of drivers are playing this track for the first time. Perhaps practiced it today for RTZH itself. But despite the fact that Derp's doing this for the first time in the game, that's quite an impressive lap time, I have to say.
Yeah. Meanwhile, UT setting sector 1 up purple, and he continues. He's currently 9th fastest, and as he goes through sector 2, let's see what kind of lap times are traveling.
Keeping it quite clean there, but a bit of dirty air from the car in front. Let's hope it doesn't ruin his third sector. And that's Death Wish in front. And UT has slowed down. What happened to UT there? Oh, Fanatical and RB Ferrello. RB Ferrello is out as well. Oh, that's a massive impact, I think. Oh, and Fanatical. This doesn't look good, Sarthak.
Yeah, let's stay on board UT. Maybe we can catch a glimpse of what happened there in sector 3. I believe it is on the left hand side. Yep, there's RB Ferrello without a front wing. He's crashed out on the exit of sector 3. UT seems like he's weaving quite a bit, but he has begun a fast lap. Regardless, RB Ferrello's lap time gives him third fastest so far, but can he hold on to it is the question right now.
For now, because a lot of drivers seem to be improving on their lap times. Black Sheep has set the 9th fastest lap time on the mediums. And it's going to be interesting to see how this turns out. Seems to be quite a mixed grid so far. Not really mixed, but unpredictable as to who's going to finish in the top 3 in quali.
Yeah, but Black Sheep, does he really want to start P9 in the midfield amidst some of...
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
honestly, it's completely very it's up to how fast he can really set his lap time, and at the end of the day, I think he'll make the most of it in the race. He just invalidated his lap, and let's see how it goes. Perhaps he's going to pit now. For how much time left? 2 minutes 40 seconds left, so he still has time to pit and come back out on the softs if he does want to set a faster lap time.
Yeah, he dives into the pit. Looks like the car's twitching quite a bit. It seems like he's probably facing issues, but then again, we'll see how that pans out. Mr. Wex goes second fastest, and he up in a P2. So yeah, 2.5 minutes left to shock qualifying to end. It's Envy on provisional pole. Vex second fastest out on track. Streeter third fastest.
So one thing we're happy to see as Ferrari fans is 3 Ferrari-powered cars in the top 3.
True. At least we get to see that somewhere for now. Oh, well, who knows? 2022. We can have our hopes up.
Oh, absolutely. Why not?
You say that in a condescending way, Gouts. Why you gotta do ourselves like that?
I mean, let's be honest, Sarthak. Where has hope ever gotten us? Let's just watch the F1, enjoy everything we see. Let it go on as it goes. We had a thrilling season this year, even though Ferrari did do incredibly well, finishing P3. But the point is, let's just enjoy it as it comes. And when Ferrari wins, let's just all be really happy.
Fair enough. Either way, on board a Ferrari car after all. Abhi, as he comes across sector 3, the final corner as well, and should say lap time better, perhaps. No, he stays 6th fastest. Not a better lap time. So he's starting another one. A fast lap. I think there's only 1 minute left to shock qualifying to end. We've got already 4 retirements in the qualifying session. Envy holds on to provisional pole. And are we still yet to set a lap time? Now, Gouts, you mentioned how he might just come out pretty strong at the end of this qualifying session. But he's not set a lap time yet. I wonder if we'll get to see one stellar lap ahead of the race and see him start on the front row perhaps.
So there's only 30 seconds left for quali now, and Avi's still in the pits, so there is no way he can come out and set a hot lap now. But yeah, he hasn't been able to set a lap time, perhaps invalidated every lap, or he wants to start at the back because, like I said, he was quick last season in the BRL, and perhaps this is a strong track and he probably enjoys the challenge of the climb.
Perhaps indeed. We'll find out soon enough. 30 seconds left to shock qualifying to end. RB comes along sector 3. I think he can put in another fast lap if he decides to. He is on one right now. Unless he's slowing down. Doesn't seem like it. Got 4 other cars out on track as well.
Seems to be going into the pits. Abhi was not on a fast lap. And Deathwish has retired. Has he retired on track, or what has happened to Deathwish? Oh, okay. He seems to have voluntarily retired on track. Oh, which is something I think he needs to be told is not allowed, because I see his car on the map still moving. You see the yellow flags on the map?
Yes.
That is Deathwish's car.
All
right. I think, yeah.
Oh, that is UT retired from the session as well. And by the looks of it, all drivers into the pits and the rest of them having retired. It's Envy who's on pole position for race number 3 of Race to Zero. Our Mr. Wex on the front row, Gouts, and Streeter RB Ferrello to start on the second row, Andre Abhi on the third, and the rest of the drivers thereafter. So we've got Derp and Black Sheep in the midfield. That's what I'm looking forward for at race start. That battle between those two drivers is going to be epic, to say the least.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, this is something we can really look forward to. Something, man, this is going to be one hell of a race, isn't it? We're missing a lot of drivers today from the last two races. Our season 4 champion KDB, and then UK himself, obviously.
Yeah, unfortunate to not having to see them out on track, and maybe we'll get to see them next race. Of course, I believe we are going to Suzuka next, so I'm looking forward to that one. Well, but regardless, right now it is the Mexico race for race 0R starting momentarily. Soon enough, we'll be heading into uh, formation lap and then the race itself, and hopefully we don't have a glitched lobby. I do see.
Hopefully, we.
I do,
I wonder why Mr. Vex's
yeah.
AI seems to be doing laps around.
Yeah, I wonder if he's restarted the game. I believe he had a similar issue earlier on when he was practicing in unranked lobbies. Hopefully, he has restarted the game. Otherwise, he's going to have issues come race start.
Right. That. Well, let's hope it's not big issues. Oh, there you go. I think Mr. Vex has now retired from the session. So this is good. Quali has been interesting, to say the least.
And I don't think in that instance. Oh, it seems like Vex is out on track somewhere, based on what's happening on our screens. But it's Envy, fastest driver out on track ahead of the of race 3. We got a new entrant, Black Sheep, out on track as well. I'm looking forward for the race. 1 minute 15.244 by Envy. Got him pole position. A 5-place grid penalty for Fanatical after a collision with RB Ferrello, I believe.
Yes, that was a collision with RB Ferrello from what I had seen. I'm not exactly sure of the specifics, but I did see the two of them at the site of the incident. So perhaps that's what that was for. And yeah, interesting to see Black Sheep the only one in the top 10 starting on the mediums. Uh, and with a pretty good lap time of 1:16.7. I think Envy on the mediums, he set a 1:16.0, did he?
1:16.0, yes, precisely.
Yeah, so not a bad lap time by Black Sheep. And let's see how this goes. Gonna be one unpredictable race, Sarthak.
Yep.
I
For,
mean, let's face it, the last two races have been extremely unpredictable.
yeah,
So,
it has. It has. We had full racing grids as well. So I'm looking forward to this. Regardless, 10 of y'all watching, make sure you drop in the chat. Who do you think who will come out on top of the race, or maybe even turn one for that matter? Seems like we have a couple of other drivers joining in now. Hopefully, we don't have a glitch lobby. Otherwise, we will restart. Meanwhile, folks asking, yep, no, KDB is not out on track. Seems like he's gotten a bit busy these days. Oh, he's in chat though, so he is watching on as he sees as he watches his competitors out on track in Mexico. What do you reckon, Guts? Lobby restart?
I'm not really sure yet because we did see a couple of people. Yeah, people are leaving the session. So perhaps if we could note down these standings, and in case there's a lobby restart, we could set this up.
Yeah. And no time from the likes of Dark Legacy having retired as well. So, folks, we'll be right back after a lobby restart. Stay with us. Folks, we are back with the race itself. We've got 18 drivers out on track, surprisingly enough, and we'll be set to go soon enough. Gouts, any thoughts before we head into the race itself?
Yeah, first of all, apologies for the inconvenience, the technical difficulties. And yeah, we are go for race. Gonna be exciting to see. There's two new drivers here now, Dinara 1UP and Helium. Dinara 1UP was quite quick in the previous race. And we already know Helium is very quick, as he's already gotten a podium in the BRL, if I'm not wrong, in one of the previous races.
Who we talk about? I got phased
Helium?
out just a bit. Helium, I believe, no. I don't think he's raced in Bwoah Racing League just yet. But yeah, we did see him out on track before. We have seen him in other league races as well. And yeah, he's a pretty quick driver. Maybe he'll do a last to first, like Abi Ferrello is known for, and seems like unfortunately someone's readied up, perhaps.
No, I think it says please
Now they
wait
have.
for me, so I'm still
Oh, okay.
on the loading screen.
All right, so it says 30-second race stats, so seems like someone has readied up. Soon enough, yeah, everybody's ready. So everybody had their strategies, setups all sorted and all set for the race itself, and it seems like only we are the ones stalling everything. For the folks watching, thank you so much for staying with us through that technical difficulty. Soon enough, we'll be ready to go out racing. Formation lap first, and then the race itself.
Definitely, Sarthak. I think I have. Is there a bit of a glitch in the lobby again? Because I see my game seems to be loading.
Yeah, same here.
It says
Waiting for players.
Let's see how it goes. I mean, so far. Oh yes. So I think the drivers. I think they're obeying the rule wherein they have to wait for the first 20 seconds or whatever that was before readying up.
But you'd expect the countdown to come out on top. It did earlier on, and right now it's gone. So I'm doubting another lobby glitch.
And also an interesting fact, Black Sheep, who qualified on the mediums, seems to have the soft tires on, Sarthak.
So yeah, that renders his race start insignificant, essentially. He won't be considered upon race result. Hopefully it is a lobby restart and we can tell him that ahead of the race.
Definitely. What else do we see here? So Webov has chosen the mediums. So has Dark Legacy and Dinara 1UP. So the three of these drivers will be starting on the mediums. Seeing also the fact that the three of them are outside the top 10, this could perhaps be a good strategy. And there you go. The timer is running now, the 30-second timer.
Okay. So they were obeying the rules. That's great to see. Almost thought it was a lobby glitch. That would have been inconvenient.
Oh, once again with these lobby glitches.
Yes. Well, let's not start. Dalvin has quite a bit of time over at Bwoah Racing League and not so nice words to talk about the game itself. But yeah, we're all set to go. Formation lap momentarily, folks. We got 16 or possibly 17 drivers out on track today. A bit of last minute
17,
entrance as well. A few last minute entrance as well.
True. 17 drivers out on track. It's going to be really good to see what Helium and Dinara 1UP, who are also quite quick drivers, going to be good to see how far up they climb.
Okay.
And Avi as well, like I've already mentioned, he's quite quick on this track.
Black Sheep's on the mediums after all, Gults. So that's good to see. And hopefully he's picked up the right car as well. So enough, 17 drivers out on track, 18 laps of racing, folks. Don't go anywhere. We got Envy on pole position and a feisty Mr. Vex right alongside him.
Definitely, and got Mr. Vex side by side with Envy in the formation lap. I wonder what he's trying to do. Perhaps trying to intimidate Envy in P1 into making a mistake at race start. He's telling Envy, I'm right here, man. Gonna get you at race start.
Folks, this is the moment you can drop in the chat. What do you think is going to happen going into turn 1? And of course, the predicted pit stop strategy, soft, medium, soft to ours, but I think we'll see otherwise, considering some of these drivers are starting on the medians, the likes of Black Sheep, Weibo as well. Weibo and Fanatical having disqualified only from the formation lap, not from the race.
Yeah, seems to have been a bit of contact between the two, I think. Anyway, it's only the formation lap, so they've still got a long 18-lap race ahead of them.
I'm excited. The top two rows. I mean, come on, who's not gonna like it? Streeter, Abi Ferrero. These two were battling it out essentially last race for the race win, and Streeter ended up getting the race win after post-race penalties being removed as well. And Andre's in the mix. We got Abi. And yeah, the likes of Black Sheep, Helium out on track as well. Pretty quick drivers. Helium's got quite the job, quite the feat to pull off out on track. He's got Dinara one up at race start for company though. I'm looking forward for a battle there as well.
Definitely. I mean, of course, in the beginning, Helium will have the tire advantage as he's starting on the softs, as opposed to Helium. Helium will have the tire advantage as he's starting on the softs, as opposed to Dinara one up.
Yeah.
And we watch as Helium pulls up to his grid spot.
Yeah, and he's on pole position. Vex on the front row alongside him. Abi Ferro and Streeter, the two drivers, having battle for the race win in race 2. Who's to say they don't do it once again out on track in race 3? As we wait for players to be all set and ready, 5 lights are gonna come on. It's all set and ready to go racing. In race number 3 of race 0, our lights are out. And I think Wex has a delayed start. And there's collision as well. Two cars out. And that was a glitch on Mr. Wex's side. Envy holds on to the race lead. Streeter holds on to P2, P3, Andre. And what was that chaos in the midfield, guys? Give us a rundown.
Oh, that was really horrible. I think there was a car stuck on track. I think, as you mentioned, it was Mr. Wex's car. Perhaps he had a late start, and Weber and Black Sheep, I think, went into each other and DNF'd in the very beginning. They did not even get to half of turn 1, in fact. So it was quite a pile-up in the very beginning of the race. I think it was a late start by Mr. Wex. I think he did have issues. Only way to find out is to see how many. A lot of drivers, I'm going to tell you, are going to pit for a new front wing. As we can see, Dinara one up has no front wing. Neither does Assassin Next. And I think there is damage on Dark Legacy's front wing. So a lot of cars are going to be pitting, and the safety car is out on lap 1.
Yeah, been there for quite a while. Dark Legacy picks up 10 seconds. Dinara 5 seconds. A fanatical 5 seconds. Of course, they can report that to the stewards in case it was awarded to them wrongly. But it's Death Wish as well without a front wing, no? Or is it the other Alpine? It could be the other Alpine.
The other Alpine. It was Dark Legacy.
Oh, I see an Alfa Romeo without one as well, and that's Dinara. Yeah.
So, and now I think with the safety, big jump of positions for Helium, who has also pitted, but he was 9 positions up. So yeah, he's got front wing damage as well, clearly. Man, this is going to be exciting to see. Up in the front, though, not much has changed, with the exception of Envy, who's stayed in P1, Streeter, Andre. Okay, a lot has changed. I take my words back. A lot has changed in the front.
Yeah, unfortunate for the likes of Viber and Black Sheep having retired on the race start. Not something you'd want considering the build up to the race itself of aftershock qualifying, but it is how it works out on track. Abi Ferrello, having fallen down to P6, not too far off. Deathwish finds himself up in a P7. Yes, this last race it was Assassin Next. This race is Deathwish.
Absolutely, and Avi straight up from the back. From P15 to P8, he's made a pretty good climb already. Of course, he had to avoid a lot of the chaos and come up, and this is still the beginning of the race, so technically still too early to say anything at all, in my opinion.
Yeah, precisely. Hinox 24 running P4. UT finds himself in the top 5. So yeah, the midfield still will deliver in terms of action. Right now, full safety car still out on track. Envy leads this race. What a start that was, Gouts. The minute on race start, I'd almost forgotten about Wex's glitch. I believe he never restarted his game, and I think he's going to regret it. Unfortunate there. I believe it was a McLaren that went into the back of him. I did see a spinning McLaren at race start. Wonder what happened there.
So did I, Sarthak. I saw McLaren as well. I'm just confused as to. I think it was Fanatical because Fanatical seems to have pit and has come out with a new front wing and the medium tires, something which he did not have before.
I'm
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm amazed how Vaibhav and Black Sheep's incident might have not even been remotely associated with Mr. Vex's idle start.
Oh, that's definitely a possibility. But then again, Sarthak, race starts. I mean, all the cars so close together. You never know. One car could cause a chain reaction at race start, and of course, we didn't see what happened, and we will obviously know after the race when Mr. Vex tells us that he probably had a glitched start.
Uh,
But then again, a lot of position drops, positions gained. Safety car has worked out for some, and why are the Ferrari swapping positions?
team orders on the safety car? Is that even allowed?
No, the game will penalize you for it. So I think
Um,
Mr. Vex may have had a bit of a spin.
Yeah, I'm not surprised there. But he's still in the race. That's something you can be happy about. He's still in the race. It's not race end for him. He's in P10, so he's in the midfield. A good set of positions he can climb in the rest of 16 laps of this race. I believe 15 soon enough. Yeah, safety car in this lap. So we're all set and ready to go racing, guys. Oh, there's a crash!
And again,
What?
oh my goodness.
No.
Andre is retired from the session.
Not like that. What was that?
I am so confused, Sarthak. I have no idea what's going on. There was a bit of chaos there in the front. I have no idea what happened. I don't know if Andre was in a hurry or Streeter was. I have no clue. At this stage, I cannot comment on that.
Did he get overwhelmed by the fact that it was safety car in this lap? I think I saw a speeding Mercedes as well. But yeah, there you go. We got race start. Hyrox 24 has surprisingly enough as the race lead Envy in P2 and a gap building up of a second already on the main straight.
Definitely. I think Harry Rocks took advantage of the fact that there was a bit of chaos in the beginning there. I think I'm not really sure what happened, to be honest, because Envy seems to have dropped a position as well. And a lot of mixing up in positions during the safety car. That's not something we see all the time, is it?
Yeah, and now he's threatened for position by two Ferraris as they line up alongside of each other. Abi and Mr. Vex. It's a fight for position in the midfield, and that fight for position goes on, dives down the inside. Abi, and he's up in a P7. Next up is Mr. Vex. He's trying along the outside. Didn't see a gap, but it's Deathwish finding himself up in a P7, now up in a P6.
Oh, pretty good drive by Deathwish so far. Something I'd like to clarify, Sarthak, is does Mr. Vex as well, is he a ghost on your screen?
Quickly checking. No, he isn't.
Okay, so it's a glitch on my side then.
Yeah, and he's threatened for position. Dinara coming for that position, dives down the inside, two positions in one.
Oh
no,
my goodness!
That was
a very bold dive bomb and a very I don't know what to say. And another one, Deathwish and Mr. Vex as well having issues there. Oh my goodness.
Contact, this is unparalleled. Oh. There's contact all around. Assassin X gets through. That mess up. 3 cars touch. And that's an end plate flying. An Alpine wide. Helium in the mix. Not something you want if you want to climb all the way to the top. Deathwish pulls away. Dark Legacy taking the charge to Helium. I think Deathwish lines up alongside. What is happening here? Brake testing each other almost. Virtual safety car out on track.
Oh my goodness, Sarthak. This is not the kind of race we wanted to see, as exciting as it is. Mr. Vex and Avi have in fact pitted for new front wings. They did have issues in the front. I would not be surprised to see more people pitting for fresh front wings. As you mentioned, there was a bit of brake checking or confusion or whatever it is. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens now. Envy and Harry Rocks, on the other hand, have maintained position and has seemed to have kept it pretty clean for now.
Yeah, and on virtual safety car restart, a bunch of drivers racking up time penalties, one of them being Streeter, having gotten another 5-second time penalty. It's Dinara taking a wide line through every corner through Sector 2.
Ooh, this is beginning to be a bit of a race, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Harry Rock almost losing it there at the final corner, but keeps it stuck on track quite well.
Yeah, he knows.
Envy, on the other hand, on that chase.
Precisely, I was about to bring it up. He knows he's coming, and right now it's RB Ferrero taking it at Streeter. It's almost a repeat of race 2 as he swings down the inside. Will he attempt diving? No, he won't. He'll hold back. He'll tuck right behind Streeter. He's going to wait it out. He knows that time penalty sticks for now.
Definitely. And and RB Ferrello had an extremely good exit out that corner, but is it good enough to keep? Streeter did a good job defending there. Had a good exit as well, so he did keep the position.
Sector 1 lights up yellow. I believe that's an incident between possibly Fanatical and Death Wish perhaps. But yeah, right now this battle continues. Envy's closed that gap of a second to Irox 24. So come the main straight, he's poised for a position up ahead, and so is RB Ferrello. So this is going to be a position for the front.
Definitely, and I think it just remains to see if Envy will have a better exit, or will he have DRS this lap, Sarthak? I'm not really sure.
Yes, DRS has been enabled a while ago, so definitely he will. Envy on the gearbox almost of Irox 24, and there you go, he's got DRS, pulls alongside, around the outside goes Envy, up into the race lead. Irox 24 tucks right behind, but he's not going to be able to pick him off soon enough. Envy holds on to the race lead, which he started with.
Very, very comfortable position by Envy, and advantage for Envy is he'll have DRS once again, because that DRS zone is for 2 DRS straights. In fact, the DRS detection zone, the detection point, is for the first and the second DRS zone, so the extra boost on the second straight as well.
Yeah, precisely, but right behind RB Ferrello didn't quite get that move done on Streeter. He's going to hold back. In the midfield, I did see quite the battles. The Helium's up a position, and he's taking that fight to RB now, having passed Dinara.
Definitely, and I think who else is close on track? So Mr. Vex is trying his best to catch up to the rest of the grid after having to pit for a fresh front wing. So is Avi, and Dark Legacy has DNF, Sarthak.
Oh, seems like he's gone into the pits and retired, so that's a voluntary retirement which is allowed. Hopefully it's not on the main straight. I'd like to think
No. He is in the pits.
Oh.
He is in the pits.
He is in the pits after all. Yeah.
And Envy coming across with the fastest lap time, with the proper fastest lap time of the race, apart from the rest of the laps being safety cars and VSCs.
Sector 1 lights up yellow as well, Sector 3 as well. But no significant incident out on track. So yeah, on lap number 8, the gaps have extended. The shortest gap, of course, RB Ferrero and Streeter, these two. We are in to see quite the battle pan out in the next 10 laps between these two.
Absolutely, this is going to be an amazing battle to watch out for. And Envy in the front has already, in the span of a lap, has already extended his lead to up to 5 seconds, Sarthak.
Yep, exactly. Quite the quick driver he is, isn't he? I'm pretty sure folks watching, if you think you can be Envy, probably should show up for the next race out at Suzuka. I'm surprised how Dalvin hasn't gotten in on this action yet.
Oh, I'm surprised as well. It would be great to see Dalvin on track as well, knowing he's an extremely quick driver.
Yeah, I believe he's watching as well. 10 laps left. Envy leads this race ahead of Irox 24, Streeter and RB Ferrello and the rest of the drivers. Gaps have extended, as you can see. Biggest gap even between Assassin X and Fanatical, over 12 seconds.
Yeah, owing to all of the incidents, and Mr. Vex, of course, takes advantage of that and has taken the position from Fanatical. I think we'll be seeing a lot of drivers finishing the races on these tires, if I'm not wrong. Harry Rocks pits. Okay, so he seems to be trying an undercut on the other drivers. Let's see if it works out, though.
Yeah, he's coming out on the fresh set of mediums. Up ahead, though, it's Streeter and RB Ferrello. It almost seemed like they're battling for position, but yeah, this time around RB Ferrello is going to try and dive down the inside, almost wheel to wheel, but holds on. Yes, they're wheel to wheel now. Streeter and RB Ferrello, just like race number 2, these two not giving up one bit for that position. This is a podium position, both of them running already. In lap number 9, they're going to stay wheel to wheel as they enter sector 2.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, and there was a bit of contact there, and RB was pushed off a little. Of course, he was on the inside. Man, this is going to be interesting to see how this pans out. RB Ferrello has DRS yet again, and he's getting on Streeter. Will he make the lunge down the inside? No, he will not. I guess it's he's gonna wait until he reaches the main straight again to try and make the move.
Yeah, and as we stay on board these two drivers, there are two other battles unraveling. Assassin X and Death Wish soon enough, and into the pits goes Streeter. So let's quickly shift to Assassin X. He's on Death Wish's tail, goes extremely wild, lines up alongside him. I think Death Wish kind of panicked there, and just like that, he's up in a P9. Meanwhile, Helium, as you would expect, but I had expected him to take the position off of Dinara on track. And he just might have. Yes, he has. And the rest of the drivers ended up pitting.
True. I think RB Ferrello hasn't pitted yet. But the rest of the drivers have, like you mentioned, Sarthak, pit. Envy is on fresh mediums and has actually held his position quite well because the drivers in front of him have to pit soon. Yeah. And assuming, of course, unless Abhi and Helium plan to finish the race on these tires.
Meanwhile, in Sector 3, we've got Deathwish having spun and lost a front wing. He's heading into the pits. Lap number 10 hasn't warranted a safety car, however. Rightfully so, he's into the pits. 5-second penalty as well for speeding. Not something you want to rack up, but only 4 drivers out on track without a penalty.
And Mr. Envy as well has just picked up a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits.
And there you go, wheel to wheel into the corner. Helium and Abhi go. And it's Helium who's taken that position and made it look quite easy as well.
Definitely was an exciting battle to watch. Let's see what these drivers do now, though. I think since they're on the mediums, both of them are not going to pit for a while now.
Yeah, they're going to stay out.
Envy, though, has caught up really quite quickly, and okay, RB Ferrello has pitted. He's finally pitted for the mediums. Let's see if the undercut from Harry Rocks and Streeter actually work.
Yeah, dive down the inside goes Abhi, and he takes up the race lead from Helium. And now Helium, he's not just got Abhi to worry about, he's got Envy on his tail as well.
Oh, that's a lot of extra pressure. That is something you do not want. Absolutely not. I think Envy is going to play the safe game here. He's going to try and wait for Helium and Abhi to actually make mistakes rather than take the fight to them. Unless, of course, he has a clear chance of overtaking.
Yeah, and oh, look at these three. They're all all three are within half a second of each other. Abhi, Helium, and Envy. This is a battle for essentially the race lead. And yeah, all 3 podium positions. Of course, Dinara, 5-second gap. This is when he can capitalize and close that gap because these 3 are going to be battling for a while, perhaps.
Absolutely. And Envy takes a look down the inside, but he's not going to make the move. Very close battling here. I think it's disadvantage Abhi come the main straight.
He's got a nasty exit.
He loses it.
Yeah, he's got a nasty exit. He's lost both positions essentially as Envy peeks down the inside and he's up in a P2. Helium retakes the race lead and he's pulled off half a second at the exit of Sector 3. Can he hold on? Because Abhi is taking it to Envy. He's going to peek down the inside. Envy's trying his best to shut the door. Helium as well trying to deny Slipstream. 3 abreast into turn 1 perhaps. Yes, it is 3 abreast into turn 1, but Envy lunges into the race lead. Helium has to concede and he's going to hold on to P2. Abhi clearly at a disadvantage and in P3.
Oh, that was an absolute spectacle. And Envy seems to be approaching, I think, Deathwish. He's about to lap Deathwish as well. Helium and Abhi still yet to pit. So Dinara 1-up is on the hards, surprisingly. Sarthak, Assassin X and Dinara 1-up. Both of them, in fact, are on the hards. I wonder what they're playing at, Sarthak.
Yeah, Abhi. On a 25% race on the hards, of course they're going to be taking that till the very end. I'd be surprised if they don't, unless they're being ambitious and going in for a set of softs for the fastest lap, perhaps. Speaking of softs, it's only Vex out on track on 6-lap-old softs.
Okay. No, that's Avi, I think, Sarthak.
Oh,
Avi is on the softs.
Apologies, my mistake. Up ahead, the gaps have extended, so none of the drivers out on track within a second of another. But Helium...
Oh, and that's another DNF. Deathwish.
I believe that's a voluntary retirement.
Yeah, he has in fact retired in the pits. So that's 2 Alpines out of this race.
Yeah, voluntary retirement goes Deathwish and 12 drivers out on track. Surprised to see 2 drivers voluntarily retiring considering all positions of odd points. To track your own progress.
And Sector 1 lights up yellow, and that is what seems to be the problem there. Okay, I see what's happened. So Deathwish has retired voluntarily on... Yes, his AI is driving. So he's retired on track itself, which
Alright.
I think we need to mention is not allowed, obviously, and will result in a penalty.
Yes, we've mentioned that pretty clearly for all the drivers who compete in the race 0R. But it's RB Ferrero. Let's say about RB Ferrero as he closes in on Hyrox 24, who's finally closed that gap to a second. The only driver out on track to a second to another.
Oh, this is going to be good. And then again, Harry Rocks does have the tire advantage to Dinara One Up, who is on the hards and who is on 10 lap old hards, in fact. So coming into the final corner, Harry Rocks will have DRS, obviously, but I don't think he'll get far enough to actually make the overtake done this lap.
Yeah.
Oh, Harry Rocks does not have DRS. I think he seems to have lost it a bit at the final corner, and he's lost a bit of time as well.
Yeah, he has, and it almost seemed like Vex might just have DRS as well. But no, he will not. He's over a second away from Streeter, or is he? And I think that could be a glitch, but regardless, Vex within half a second now with Streeter going into turn 1. He's not going to attempt to for position, and Streeter just vanished.
What happened? Yeah, he's behind Vex now. This game is
Yeah.
glitching quite a lot.
The game playing its tricks, folks. If you're new here, it's kind of testament to how the game works. Anyway, Irox 24 now on Dinara within half a second as they come across Sector 3 soon enough.
I think Harry Rocks will have DRS on Dinara right now, and it should be a pretty... Yep, that looks quite easy by Harry Rocks, but Dinara trying to close the door and giving just enough space. So I think Harry Rocks will have to complete this move on the main straight.
Yeah, if he can keep within Dinara come the final corner, and yes, he will. Half a second within Dinara. It is Hyrox 24. He will attempt to get that position off of Dinara come the turn 1. We are on lap number 15, folks. The Envy leads this race ahead of Helium and Abhi. Dinara swings to the right, making sure he denies slipstream, but what's he trying? He closed the inside line, and along the outside goes Hyrox 24 up in a P4.
And Harry Rocks makes the move stick. He will have DRS once again, obviously. And good chance for Harry Rocks to pull away from Dinara One Up. But coming behind Dinara One Up is none other than Mr. RB Ferrello himself, who's on a charge.
Yeah, we saw, of course, Hyrox 24 weaving, trying to deny slipstream for Dinara on the wake of him attempting to pick off that position from Hyrox 24. Of course, didn't happen, but yeah, as you mentioned, RB Ferrero's in the mix now, folks.
This is going to be exciting. And Mr. Vex, as we speak, is also within DRS range of Assassin next. So come the next DRS zone, Mr. Vex will have that extra bit of speed on the straight.
Yep, we possibly are going to see the same part of the track where Dinara lost his position, so will Assassin next. Up ahead, I believe RB Ferrello on Sector 3 is as close as he can get to Dinara.
Yes, he is, and Mr. Vex on Assassin next. Okay, yeah. So RB Ferrello on Dinara One Up, but Dinara One Up has the DRS advantage as well. Oh, and he's getting very close to Harry Rocks, and he makes the move.
Oh, so does
But
RB Ferrello.
can
Late
the move
break.
stick?
Late breaking,
but
and
a little too late.
yeah, I don't know what happened there. It almost seemed like Dinara vanished off my screen. But yeah, that gap has extended to a second. Both these drivers having had DRS now within half a second of each other.
True, and I think Mr. Vex is lining up for a move as well on the next DRS straight.
Yeah, but
He should be able to get it done on the straight, as he seems to have better exits than Assassin Next. And Assassin Next is out of battery, Sarthak, while Vex has over 90%. I wonder why he's not using it. It could have been an easy move there.
yeah, holds off just that much longer. But up ahead, RB Ferrello. He's poised for position yet again, but will he make the move? He's trying to keep that gap within a second come the main straight. He should be able to. There you go, Mr. Vex. He's attempting as much as he can. 2/10 now between him and Assassin Next as they go through Sector 2. Come Sector 3, I'd expect him to make a move. Yeah, oh, it goes completely wide. I'm surprised how he didn't rack up a penalty. Sure, I'm sure he racked up a warning.
Absolutely, absolutely. And RB Ferrello lining up for the move, and he is ahead of Dinara 1-up. Pretty comfortable move by RB Ferrello. And he will keep the position this time, I believe. Only, again, he's within DRS range of Harry Rocks. So advantage RB Ferrello once again.
Yeah, he should have DRS once again, as you mentioned. And you see those three beautiful cars coming along sector at the exit of Sector 1 into Sector 2. And yeah, that's RB Ferrello winning that battle. Up ahead, nothing's changed, of course, and we leads this race on the penultimate lap. And behind, Mr. Wex has taken that position off of Assassin Next, who's not fallen short too much. He's still within a half a second of Vex.
Yeah, he's still within DRS range of X, and he seems to be closing in quite a lot. Okay, so Assassin X loses it slightly and I think goes off track. So now Mr. X has that advantage of not having to be in Assassin X DRS. On the other hand, the midfield is still very exciting. Dinara 1-up, RB Ferrello and Harry Rocks. I think coming out of the final corner, RB Ferrello did have a better exit than Harry Rocks, but was it good enough for him to stay in? Nope, he will not have DRS. But he definitely seems to be closing in quite a lot. And they have very similar battery percentages as well to Harry Rocks and RB Ferrello.
Yeah, you can see them lapping Fanatical as we speak, the ghosted car of Fanatical. And yeah, Sector 3, all eyes on Sector 3. RB Ferrello should be able to make a move there.
Definitely, and this is the final lap, so it's all or nothing for RB Ferrello and Harry Rocks. Then again, Harry Rocks does have that penalty. And Harry Rocks spins out. Oh my goodness, Harry Rocks, what timing to spin out.
Yeah, he's fallen down to P6, and I think he'll hold on to P6, but it's Envy. He's coming along Sector 3. Let's quickly have penalties. Interesting. Abhi finds himself poised for possible race win at this rate, or not. No, he won't have the race win. It's Envy. He wins race number 3 of Race to 0R by Helium. He'll drop down to P3, I presume, unless the gap has extended just over 6 seconds. Oh, that was so awfully close. So awfully close.
Yeah, I think Envy will. Yeah, Helium will keep P2. Abhi P3 and RB Ferrello, I think, should get a comfortable P4.
Yeah, and the rest of the drivers will have a huge jumble in positions. I'm sure I saw a few 9-second penalties, a 6-second penalty as well. And Streeter finds himself running P11. I believe he has disconnected and it's his AI out on track. Am I right?
Yes. Streeter has in fact disconnected. Yes, he has. And I think every single driver on track except Abhi and RB Ferrello have picked up penalties, which is a rare sight to see because Mexico is just that track, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And Assassin Next and Fanatical yet again, the rookies having finished another race. Brilliant for them, racking up points. But it's Helium picking up driver of the day, P20 all the way to P2, and a real close finish for that P2, mind you, after the 6-second time penalty he's racked up.
Absolutely, Sarthak. I mean, incredible drive by Helium. He was, in fact, one of the people affected in the chaos in the beginning, but what a recovery drive he's had from dead last to second place on the podium. Absolutely brilliant stuff. And as you can see, everybody there has penalties.
There you go. What a podium. And what a race that was. I'm rather curious to see what really unraveled there in that incident with Andre crashing out and retiring from the race. Envy picks up fastest lap.
Surprise, surprise. And something I'd like to brag about, Sarthak. In BRL Season 4, I was the only driver on track, in fact, to not have any penalties.
There you go. Clean racer, Mr. Gouts.
Let's go.
Of course. Hopefully we'll see you out on track again, replicating that in the Bwoah Racing League. But for now, for tonight, that's the end of Race to 0R Race 3. Gouts, what do you think? How do you think the race went?
It was a very exciting race, as expected, and Envy kept pole. Envy got pole and kept that race lead from beginning to end. It was amazing to watch. Incredible race. Congrats to the podium sitters and fastest lap, Envy, of course. Looking forward to the next one, Sarthak.
Yeah, quite the race indeed, and quite the showing by some of these drivers. I'm looking forward as we head on to the next race. We'll be heading to Suzuka on Tuesday. For those of you who are new here and have completely no knowledge of what's happening, make sure you mark your attendance in the RoadRunnerRacingCo Discord and pretty much show up, lobby up, and race. You get to go wheel to wheel with some clean drivers for the most part, unless the game acts funny like it did today. Regardless, thank you everyone for staying till the very end. We'll see you again on Tuesday. See you guys.
Cheers, Sarthak.